Hello students, welcome back. It's great pleasure to see you back. I know you're curious to know what we are going to learn further. Yes, we have completed Geography Chapter 1 and today we are going to start with new chapter, that is Geography. Before that, let us know the differences of life between village and the city people. In village, people wake up early and they have to go to fetch water. That is, they have to meet their requirements. Not only that, children most of the time have to work with their parents to earn their livelihood. But in city, due to use of the scientific way and the latest technology, the life has become easier. They can fulfill their requirements very easily. Yes, lots of differences there in the life of the people of village and the cities. Now, why this is? This is because differences in the quality of land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife. Geography Chapter 2: Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation, and Wildlife. Today, we are going to discuss about land. Land is among the most important natural resources. It covers only about 30% of the total area of the Earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable. Not habitable means where the people cannot reside. Third, the uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to varied characteristics of land and climate. For example, plains and river valleys offer suitable land for agriculture. Hence, these are densely populated areas of the world. Also, children, inhabitable areas are like steep slope of mountains, low-lying areas, desert and thick forest are sparsely populated due to unavailability of resources. In deserts, there is scarcity of water. Land use. We know land is used for various purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. This is a commonly termed as land use. The use of land is determined by physical as well as human factors. Physical factors: topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of water. Yes, students, we like to live in the places where all the resources are available which can fulfill our daily requirements. Human factors like population and technology. Yes, use of technology also differs from place to place. Do you know 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of land area? The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Sparsely populated means less populated. Uninhabited means where people cannot reside. Next, now your land is classified on the basis of ownership. First one is private land. Yes, students, you all live in your house. Will you like if other people come and stay in your house and if they say that no, this land belongs to me and I'm going to stay here? No, you will not like and you will not allow also. Why? Because that house is owned by your parents. That is your own house, privately owned by you. This is called as private land. It is owned by individual or group of individuals. Next, second one is community land. It is owned by the society or community, also called as common property sources. Yes, few land is used for the common purposes like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. This is the common land. Next, now you know students, day by day the population of the country is increasing. With the increase in the population, the demands of the people are also growing.
Because of that, we can see clearing of the forest, and that land is utilized for various purposes like to build commercial areas, housing complexes in urban areas. In rural areas, it is used for agriculture purposes. Now, this reflects the changes in land use as well as in our society. In the picture only you can see, children, first you can see the land is full of fields. In the second you can see few houses are being constructed. Next, till it reaches to the fourth picture, you can see nowhere greenery is left. Full land is occupied for the construction purpose. Next, major reasons for environmental threats. Threats means what? Causes. First one is soil erosion. We know soil erosion means what? The soil loses. Desertification. Desertification means the area where it is dry and empty and can't grow anything. Degradation of land. That is disgusting situation where we cannot do anything. Landslides. Landslides occur due to heavy rains. Further, we are going to study in detail about the landslides. Next, is the land an important resource in our life? Yes, it is. So we have to conserve land. So here are few methods in which we can conserve the land resource. First one is afforestation. I know many of you must be knowing what is afforestation. It means planting large number of trees on land which has few or no trees on it. Yes, many of us do during the Van Mahotsava, that is tree plantation day. Okay, that second one is land reclamation. Now, what do we mean by land reclamation? Process of changing land that is not suitable for farming. Yes, children, few land which is in existence on earth is not suitable for farming, but due to the use of technology, we can, and also scientific ways, we can make that land usable. That is called as land reclamation. Third one is checks on overgrazing. Yes, students, most of the time we see cattle grazing is done on the slopes of hills, and that causes soil erosion. That is, if the pasture disappears from there, then the soil becomes loose. Fourth one is regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers. Yes, overuse of chemicals and pesticides can harm the quality of land. So these are the four methods in which we can conserve land resource. Not only that, many more are there which we will be discussing, and that conservative measures have to become from your side. Next one, that is landslides. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris, or earth down a slope. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. Not only that, a prolonged spill of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. So children, can we control these landslides? Yes, we can have some preventive measures, but we cannot stop it from occurring completely, but we can have some preventive measures, that is mitigation mechanism. Due to advancement in scientific techniques, people come to know the causes of landslides, and they also know how to manage them. Some broad mitigation techniques of landslides are as follows. First one, hazard mapping. Students, many of the time people live in the areas where landslides occur recently. Now, if those areas are prone as danger zone, people will not form their settlements, and also precautions can be taken. Not only that, also if the government restrict the people from having settlement there, the disaster can be avoided. Second one, retention wall. Students, you can see in the picture a wall has been constructed to stop land from slipping. Not only that, children, we usually travel from one place to another. Have you all seen few nets placed on the hill slopes when you pass through the ghats? Yes, I have seen. You almost also have seen. That is also one way of preventing landslide. Third one, increase in the vegetation. Yes, you can see in the picture lots of vegetation is grown on the slopes. That keeps the soil holding and it reduces the intensity of landslide. Fourth one, surface drainage control works to control the movement of landslides along with rainwater and spring flows. Yes, students, these are the preventive measures that is called as mitigation mechanism for landslide. Students, natural disasters occur. We cannot stop them, but due to the advanced scientific technology, we can take some mitigation measures which will help the people to reduce the intensity of the landslide or any natural disaster. That's all. Today we will stop here. That is, we will stop with the discussion of land, use of land, effects on land due to human activities, and the last one is how to conserve the land resource. Thank you.